We have covered up to so far Brahma-vidyayai Namah. Today we'll be seeing Yoga-shastra-roopaayai Namah and Sri Krishna-arjuna-samvaada-roopayai Namah. These two. There are three words. Bhog, Rog और योग. भोग करने से रोग होता है. रोग से हटाने के लिए हमको भोग को हटाना चाहिए. वो भोग का हटाना है, वो ये योग. Bhoga, Roga and Yoga. Bhoga means indulgence. Roga is, the result of that is disease, sickness. And for all of us, our intent is to live healthy. Nobody wants to be a rogi. So how to get out of Roga? So only way is look at the cause. Cause is Bhoga. So Bhog comes from the root word Bhuj. The Yoga comes from the root Yuj. So if you want to come out of your possible sickness, etc., one has to know how to control Bhoga. And that is called Yoga. To start with. In general, the word yoga, you might have come across, usko prayog karo. Methodology. Prayoga is the way of using anything. That is, if I have learned archery, to use. So the first definition, we are going to see 10 definitions of yoga. Okay. First definition is yukti upayahava, yuktihi upayahava yoga. Yukti is a method and upaya is also that only. Upayanam, method of utilizing. In some language, yoga means usefulness. उसको उपयोग क्या है? Benefit. Prayog, in other words, is the employment, engagement. So the first meaning of yoga is engaging in something usefully. So this is the first meaning which we see. The second meaning Gita gives is apraptasya praptihi yoga. जो हमारे पास नहीं है उसको हमारे पास जो कर देता है, or that which makes us able to get what we do not have, that is yoga. This is in the context of Bhagavan Krishna saying, I will take care of your yoga and shema. Ananyas chintayanto mam ye jana paryupasade tesham nityabhiyuktanam yoga-kshemam mamya. Kshemam is praptasya rakshanam. Yoga is apraptasya praptihi. What is not there to get it is yoga. What is there to protect it is called kshema. So apraptasya praptihi yoga. So this is the second meaning. One is engaging, employing, using. Second is getting what we want, which we do not have. That is called yoga. Interestingly, even though Bhagavan has said in the chapter which just now I explained to you, those who are able to think about me continues. But in second chapter, he says, Niryoga-kshema atvama. Remain without asking for yoga and kshema in Sankhya Yoga. But if you want to get something, the right way of getting it is called yoga. Apraptasya prapti. This is the second definition. The third definition is kartavye vastuni mana pranidhanam yoga. Mana pranidhanam. Mind abiding in the action that needs to be done. Kartavye vastuni. Those actions which are to be done, उसमें मन को लगाना, वही योग है. So you tell your children also, पढ़ो, ये आपका कर्तव्य है. Whatever you need to do. Keep your mind in that. Gurudev used to say, keep your mind where the hand is. That is what it is. If you don't keep your mind where the hand is, you will keep the hand where the mind is. If you don't keep the mind in the hand, you will keep the hand in the mind. Only after making a mistake, we realize, I didn't keep my mind in that. So don't just say, be mindful, be attentive. That is yoga. Kartavya vastuni manaha, manasa, mana pranidhanam. Pranidhanam means to surrender actually, but keeping it there. Pranidhanam. Abiding, staying, making sure the mind does not deviate from what you're doing. Nowadays, what we have is multitasking. Everybody is into multitasking. So what happens is, we neither do one thing correct, nor all of them properly done. So all of them, one here, one there, one there, one there. The mind becomes so distracted. So keeping the mind, what needs to be done. That is called yoga. This is the third definition. So you can see how slowly it increases its in depth in the meaning. So first it started with what? Yuktihi, upaya. Second is apraptasya praptihi. Then kartavya vastani mana pranidhanam. Keeping the mind where the action is. The fourth definition is phalatrishna-roopa chitta viksheva avavaha. Phalatrishna-roopa chitta viksheva avavaha yoga. Meaning, where do our mind get disturbed most of the time? Because of vikshepa. Vikshepa means restlessness. Mind is running here, there, here, everywhere. Or mind is excited or anxious. Vikshepa also means anxiety. The word comes from kship, to throw. Kshipati. Vikshepa is, mind is thrown, not here. Because of what? Phalatrishna-roopa. Bhagavan Krishna takes it up in the chapter 33 itself. Phalatyaga karo, man ka shanti milega. What is Trishna? Trishna means intense desire. Called Trishna. Thirsty came from the same root. Trishna becomes in some English thirsty. So phalatrishna-roopa chitta vikshepa vritti abhava or vikshepa abhava. Keeping our mind devoid of anxiety about, anxiety in the form of seeking results of a particular nature. Any action will have result, but I want this result. यही चाहिए, कोई और नहीं है. See, most of the time we program our mind in such a way. ये होना ही होगा, ये नहीं होया तो you are already deciding, if I don't get this, I'll be sad. So you're programmed. What is that? If this happens, I'll be happy. If it doesn't happen, I'm sad. So when it doesn't happen, obviously, the mind becomes sad because that's what you decided. If you have decided, if it happens, good. If it doesn't happen, okay. If your mind is able to get to that program mode, then it doesn't happen, it doesn't matter. I've already thought about it. So our mind can be dehypnotized. We keep our mind programmed. So like a computer. The flow chart you put. The decision box. Yes, go this side. No, go this side. Then the same way. Yes means happy. No, I am happy. And added to that, others also around. You didn't get it. Oh, I'm so sorry. We often have this kind of a pre-program. So anyway, so this kind of anxiety about a particular result from actions, if you do not have, that is yoga. How do we reach that? Then the fifth definition, samatvam yoga uchyate. In many places, Bhagavan explains this. Tulya ninda stutirmoni santushto yena kena chit. निंदा और स्तुति में उसका मन तुल्य है, सम है, same. Ninda means somebody criticizing you. Stuti means somebody praising you. Mind gets oscillated on this. Where the mind is able to stay steady. And how can it stay steady? Staying steady is yoga. How does it stay steady? समत्व कैसा होगा? उपाय वो है कि ये भी टेम्पररी है, वो भी टेम्पररी है, ये भी अनित्य है, वो भी अनित्य है. This understanding should be there. On the other day also, this knowledge is to be thought of. प्रत्यक्ष प्रमाण में नित्यत्व का प्रूफ नहीं होगा, anitya ka bhi. If a thing is there, I see with my eyes. The eyes are reporting existence of that object, but it does not report me whether it is nitya or anitya. Oh, mujhe pata nahi hai. So by looking at an object, I will not know whether it is nityam or anitya. Correct? Your table is there. If I look at it, I know that it's stable. But it will remain forever or not, that I don't know. How long it has been, I don't know. So, प्रत्यक्ष प्रमाण के साथ उसका भी विचार भी करना चाहिए. So, समत्व विचार से होता है, ना प्रत्यक्ष में. By seeing, you will not. See, people experience joy and sorrow, success, failure, gain and loss, all that. उसके बारे में विचार नहीं हुआ. क्यों होता है? Why is that I get oscillated by what happens to me? Knowing very well nothing remains forever. Everything is temporary. Only knowing that, one will remain unruffled. Unruffled by knowledge. So uska naam hai samatva. Otherwise, it becomes titiksha. Tolerance. A tolerance nahi hai. Some people say heat and cold, I tolerate. That tolerance is not yoga. Mind not reacting. Mind accepting the situation without complaints. Mind not moving away from its stability, serenity, peace, balance. You know, I often give this example. When you are flying a kite, why do you think the kite is flying? Everybody has different answers. One would say, because it's very light, it flies. Okay. Second person would say, because there is a wind or air. Because there is no wind, it will just come down. That is why it's flying. But actual reason is, there is a string and somebody is holding it. है कि नहीं? ये string नहीं है तो उसका वो fly नहीं है, fly away. It will go away. It will not stay there. Or it will get destroyed. How is it flying? It's because somebody is holding it, making sure that it neither gets lost nor it comes down. Stay there. So the person holding the string is most important. The string and the holding the string. इसी तरह समत्व is balance. वो balance कैसा होता है? Only when we keep it steady there. If you lose, it will get lost or it will get destroyed. So holding it, correct. So when the wind is high, you make sure that you hold it tight so that it doesn't get lost. And when the wind is less, you release it so that you can go to a more higher elevation, get more able to fly. Anyway. So samatvam yoga uchyate. This is the definition number 5. Definition number 6. Dukkha sanyoga viyoga yoga. How many definitions here Bhagavan has given? Shankaracharya. Krishna also. Dukkha sanyoga viyoga. Detachment from attaching oneself to what causes pain. Detaching from the attachment of from those which are causing pain. Dukkha sanyoga means attachment to pain. Usse viyoga. Now one may say, obviously, Swamiji, who is asking for pain anyways? How do you say attachment to pain? Who get attached to pain? All of us. Why? How do you say that? Ehi samsparshaja bhogaha dukkayonaya evate. Adyanta kaunteya ateshu ramate buddha. It's a definition. See, every word Bhagavan uses, there is a definition somewhere else. You have to look for it. Where is that it is used there? Dukkha yoni kya hai? What is the womb of pain? Samsarshaja bhogaha dukkha yoni. Bhogaha dukkha yoni. All pleasures are the womb of pain. Some time or the other it will cause pain. And what bhoga is what? Samsparshaja bhogaha. Sparshajaha bhogaha. Contact born experiences are called bhoga. Eyes are in contact with forms. Ears are with sound. Nose with smell. So any sense organ which is in touch with sense object, that sparsha, born out of sparsha, is called bhoga. And all the bhogas being adi antavantaha, because subject to birth or beginning, subject to end. Therefore, they are potentially pain. Usse vyoga. Knowing well that coming out of it, that is yoga. So dukkha sanyoga, viyoga hai yoga. कितना डेफिनेशन हो गया? 6 हो गया. पहला क्या? युक्ति ही उपाय है. सेकेंड इज अप्राप्तस्य प्राप्ति ही. थर्ड इज कर्तव्ये वस्तुनि मन प्रणिधानम. Fourth is Palatrishna-rupa chitta-vikshepa abhavaha. This is fourth. Fifth, Samatvam yoga uchyate. Sixth, Dukkha sanyoga viyoga yoga. Seventh one. So it's a progression. Avagatanam indriyadi upasamharena ekagrataya swatma samvedya apadanam yoga. When the teacher has taught us, or the scriptures have taught us, what is the highest truth? Avagatanam, what is already understood. Indriyadi upasamharena, with the help of withdrawal of the senses. Ekagrataya, with one-pointed attention. Swatma samvedya apadanam, keeping our mind for the sake of personal experience of what is understood. So that means to make what is understood as personal experience through withdrawal of the senses and keeping the mind one-pointed. That is yoga. Progression. Earlier we saw what? Having withdrawn the mind from causes of pain. And then what do? See, even in sleep, we withdraw everything. Correct? Eyes are closed, ears are listening to anybody, anything, even though one spouse is telling something in there. So one is not listening to anything, not smelling anything, not tasting anything, not touching anything, not walking, not talking. So everything is withdrawn. Right? So one should say, yeah, then that must be yoga. No. Avagatanam, what is understood or learned as knowledge, uska swatma samvedya, samvedanam. Swatma samvedana means personally experiencing. The attempt to experience the knowledge through withdrawal of the senses and abiding in the self. This is called yoga. Avagatanam indriyadi upasamharena ekagrataya swatma samvedya apadanam yoga. That is seventh definition. So an auxiliary to that is eighth one, yoga jnana nishtha lakshana. Jnana mein nishtha hona chahiye. Uska naam hai yoga. Abiding in what is understood and as knowledge. Always, meaning jnanam is not any aspect of karma. It is not an activity, it is an attention. See, even though a person who is a musician, either he is an instrumentalist or a singer, when he is on stage, even though audience is there, etc., but his concentration is not the music. Otherwise, he is looking who has come, who has not come. His attention is what song he has taken, what raga he has picked up. And then he tunes himself to that particular raga and the tala, and also making sure that the accompaniments are also tuned. And then when he picks up the momentum on that, mind is on that. Uska nishtha usme hona chahiye, raag mein hona chahiye, swar mein hona chahiye. Otherwise it becomes, what do you call it? Asura. सुर नहीं है तो असुर हो गया, ताल नहीं है तो बेताल हो गया. So that person should have the constant attention on the swara. The same way, having gained the knowledge, the constant attention of that knowledge. A karma nahi hai, in attention. It's an awareness on that. Jnana nishtha lakshana yoga. This is the eighth definition. The ninth definition is Dhyanadi Rupa Yoga. So where having gained the correct knowledge, how far our mind is able to quieten itself, and when occasion arises where one can be in solitude, where the mind withdrawn from everything else is enjoying its inner quietude and oneness with the self. The dhyan. Oh, dhyan, that word itself became in the Far Eastern or Southeast Asian philosophies Zen. Zen is nothing but dhyan. Because dhyan mein, in the state of knowledge, meditation, the abstractness of the reality is understood. That's why Zen is always abstract. Listen to the clap of one hand. Right. Listen. Listen to the clap of one hand. Meditate on your face before you were born. What is that? You see, it's abstract. You cannot think. It stops. Mind has to stop. So stopping the mind and not wandering into the known field of thoughts. The dhyana-roopa yoga. Last one. Is it 10th one? Just Paramartha darshana lakshanaha yujjade parabrahmana anena iti yoga. Yujjade parabrahmana anena. That which finally makes you connect with Supreme Reality. Parabrahmana anena iti. Yujjade iti. That is where one is able to have Paramartha darshan. Supreme Reality, highest end, is recognized. That is the 10th one. So this way, Bhagavan Krishna also, every chapter it is noted as a yoga. At the end of it, we'll say Arjuna Vishada Yoga, Sankhya Yoga, Karma Yoga, Karma Sannyasa Yoga, Jnana Karma Sannyasa Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, Akshara Brahma Yoga, Jnana Vijnana Yoga, Rajavidya Rajabhukya Yoga, Vibhuti Yoga, Vishwarupa Darshana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Kshetra Kshetraknya Vibhaga Yoga. Then Gunatraya Vibhaga Yoga. Then Purushottama Yoga. Then Daivasura Sampat Vibhaga. Then Shraddhatre Vibhaga. Then Sannyas, Moksha Sannyas. 18 chapters, all of them are yogas. Different ideas of yoga. That's why it is given as Yoga-shastra-roopaayai. वो जो शास्त्र है वो योग के बारे में. शासनात् शास्त्रम इति कथ्यते. An instruction, a way of teaching. The teaching is called Shastra. Now we'll go to the next one. That is Sri Krishna-arjuna-samvaada-roopayai. All our scriptures, Hinduism, is in the form of samvada. Samvada. There are 6 terminologies we should understand. One is called Tarka. Tarka means logical reasoning. Tarka. Tarka Shastra is there. It is also known as Nyaya. So Tarka Shastra is that which is developed by people who have taken Pratyakshameva Pramanam. What is seen alone is the means to know anything. What is perceived by the senses. Science is like that. What is perceived by the senses alone are considered as the means to knowledge. Whatever is not seen by the mind or seen by the senses or not available for our comprehension does not exist. So therefore, they do not believe in existence of anything that has no form. Form in the sense, not physical form, either the form of sound or physical form or the smell. See, smell also has no particular physical form, but we know it is there. Sound also has no physical form, but it can be captured as a physical form. Taste also. So those things, whatever has got a characteristic, that is called a rupa, lakshana. So anything that has no characteristic, no feature, its existence has to be proved. If you can't prove that, it doesn't exist. This is how the logic works. So the Tarka Shastra is about that. How to understand truth through Tarka. Even though Vedanta uses Tarka, but not getting stuck with that. Because what is unknown need not have to be an object of perception. The truth is beyond the human conception and perception and the senses, and therefore Shastra is the pramana for it. So Tarka is one method of understanding or trying to understand the truth which is used. Second one is called Vada. The word Vada means argument. When I have an opinion about things or an idea about things, and you have a different opinion about that, we engage in Vada, argue. In court of law, it is Vada. Vada Pradivada. I argue on a point and you argue against it. This is called Vada and Pradivada. In the transactional world, that very often happens. Somebody has an opinion or an idea or a proposition, somebody opposes it. Oppose. Speaking for and against. This is called Vada. Next one is Vivada. Vivada is a dispute. You claim something which I say is not correct. Dispute, or which is known as litigation. So I claim this as mine, and you say this is not yours. I'll prove it to you. It's not opinion, it's about ownership. So it's called litigation. It's called Vivada. Another word is called Arthavada. Arthavada means to praise something, to make it appeal to me, appeal to everyone. So if I have to, marketing is the best, here you will find. An object is there, but the way you see it is one thing. But I will tell you more about that so that it is more appealing to you. I talk about its features so that you will find that you really need it or really understand it. It's called Arthavada. The same Vada word only. Vada, Vivada, Arthavada. Another word is Anuvada. Anuvada is where I translate from one to another. Finally, we come to Samvada. Samvada is discussion, dialogue. In dialogue, what is most important is you hear other person's standpoint. And then, through discussion, we will come to have a correct understanding of both of us. Not that I'm going to prove you wrong, nor you prove me wrong. Let us come to understand what is the truth. Now, I'm not here to argue with you. Buddhajanehi vada parityajyadam. Bhagavan Shankaracharya says, with the men of knowledge, don't argue. Because they know better than you. And men of knowledge also don't argue with you. Why? It is said, you should never argue with the fool, because if you argue with him or her, in that level, nobody can beat him. In his foolishness, you cannot beat his fool. You cannot be as foolish as he. So, samvada is where both one or two people, or at least minimum two of them, one and the other, both are engaging in understanding the truth by mutual exchange of thoughts. Here, Krishna and Arjuna are arriving at a solution to a problem. And what is the problem? Problem is war. Is war necessary or not? Arjuna thinks it's not necessary. And he has some arguments to put forth. So Arjuna does not deny it completely. But he says it is a necessary means until it becomes unnecessary. How do we say that? Bed is necessary to sleep or not? Bed, pillow. When you are to go to sleep, when you are feeling tired, some of you are already doing that, sleeping anyway. So when you are tired, you prefer to lie down with the bed, pillow, etc. But once you have already slept, you don't care whether the bed is there or not. You are already slept. You are not there. The body is left behind. Along with the body, its comfort is also left behind. Gone. So until when it is necessary? Until you reach a point where it doesn't require it. You don't require anymore. So it is said in Vivek Chodamani also, to whom is the Shastra? Shastra kiske liye? One who wants to know the truth, he needs a Shastra to study. But having understood the truth, he doesn't need Shastra. Shastram Gyartam. So, for the person who has become Mukta, Jo Mukta hai, Tasya Shastram Vyartam. One who has already reached the state of liberation, for him, there is no more need for study of Shastra. Just like a person who has already slept, for him, there is no need for further usage of bed and the pillow. Those who have not yet slept, for them it is necessary. Those who have not yet gained the mukti, Shastra is necessary. Those who do not want to get mukti, Shastram Vyartam. Those who do not want to sleep, is but necessary then. So you understand, it is necessary for those people who have not gone beyond that necessity. For those who think that he doesn't need it, out of his ignorance. So here the samvada is about when Arjuna says that I do not want to fight because I don't think it's necessary. Bhagavan says it is necessary until you reach a state of maturity to know that it is not necessary. Not that you are out of immaturity or out of fear, as we have been seeing in 18th chapter also, that one who gives up out of kaya klesha bhayat tyajet dukkamityeva yat tyagah na tyagapalam labate. Niyatastatu karmani kaya klesha bhayat tyajet dukkamityeva. Dukkamiti. That kind of a tyaga, rajasika tyaga. उस त्याग से उसका फल नहीं मिलेगा. Keeping that in mind only, Bhagavan says that you have to engage in the war. Wahi dharma hai aapka. When does it become not necessary? Only when you understand that karma मैं कर रहा हूं वो चित्त शुद्धि के लिए. But chitta shuddhi, how do we know that we have got chitta shuddhi? Where we can do tyaga with no regret. Woi chitta shuddhi hai. That's why Bhagavan says, sarva dharman parityajya ekam mam sharanam raja. Oh sharan, oh surrender. When does it happen? When one says, I have nothing else in my mind other than mukti. Oh Bhagavan ही दे सकता है. तो इसलिए मैं उसमें उसको उससे मैं I'll do the complete surrender to Bhagavan. But that happens only when the absolute purity. And that purity is gained through karma. So, therefore, dharma paripalan karna hi hoga chitta shuddhi paryantam. Up to the point of chitta shuddhi. Chitta shuddhi prapti urdhvam jnana praptva dvara dhyana yogena bhaktya with the help of the meditation through the knowledge and with devotion Ishwara pranidhanena by the surrender to the Lord mukti hilpate. So this way Bhagavan has to do samvada. And all Upanishads are all samvada. A teacher who is there in solitude, quietly he is meditating, and the student reaches the abode of the teacher. Parikshalokan karmachitan brahmana nirvedamaya nastya kritakritena tad vijnanartham sagurumeva vidachet samitpanihi shrotriyam brahmanishtam. Was there and asked for the Adihi Bhagavan Brahma Vidyam Varishtam. Please teach me the highest knowledge. So this way the student submits to the teacher. Teacher finds out whether the student is having the right qualification and then slowly imparts that knowledge in the form of a conversation. The question that is raised by the student shows how much he is thinking. Slowly, that maturity of the student, also even in Bhagavad-Gita itself, you will find how from the beginning, how Arjuna starts with a complaint, saying that I am not able to, stand even steadily. My mind is so bewildered, all that. And as you proceed, as we read, and how the questions have become refined, slowly. Finally, what he asks, Sannyas kya hai, wo tyag kya hai? Uska baare mein aap batao. So he has come to a point of understanding of what is sannyasa and what is tyaga. Sannyasasya mahabaho tattvamichchami vedidum tyagasya cha rishikesha pratakeshanishodha. Tell me the difference. So Bhagavan begins with saying that tyaga, trividam tyaga, tyagaha trividaha bhavati, etc. So how the maturity of that student is developed through samvada. So that's why Krishna-arjuna-samvaada-roopayai. Whether it is 18 Puranas you take, Bhagavad Purana, Mahabharata, or the Upanishad, Gita, everything is in the form of samvada. Discussion, dialogue. There's a lot of diplomacy involved there because there is a need to understand the standpoint of the others before giving the answer. You cannot say, this is what I say, whether you want to listen or not. That is not the way to do it. Samvad, what is prerequisite for samvad? Listen carefully. What is the standpoint of the other? And then with an intent to clarify, intent to make sure that there is no doubt in the mind of the student, making sure that he gets it in the right way, then only he can proceed further. That's the reason why the samvada is necessary. So, Shri Krishna-arjuna-samvaada-roopayai Namah. Om सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम।